All right, here's a quick teaser so that you watch the entire video and subscribe and stuff. So, not a complete finished product, but we're almost there. All right, now watch the video and see how we got to this point. Okay, so I'm tackling the brakes again on this. I've just never really built good pressure. So what I've noticed here on this side, so if you watch that caliper there, let me try to get to focus. See how it's kind of wiggling in and out as I spin the tire? And I also noticed when I spin this, got some wobble, possibly in the rim. We might have a bent brake disc too. So that would cause those pads basically not being parallel to each other. They're kind of at an angle. So when the caliper and the disc's pushing out, it's pushing on an angle and then trying to correct and go like this all the time, which would result in a really soft pedal feel as well. As far as the wobble on the rim, might throw the other side on this side and see if there's maybe just a little bit of tweak in this wheel itself, or possibly if it's got like a bent spindle on this upright, which these were basically used. I mean, yeah, they are used. They weren't new as far as like the whole upright and spindle assembly, because they're off a TRX 450. So it's possible, and they seem to be in very good shape when I got them, but it's hard to say. That could be the issue. Here's a better view. If you watch this, well, it's hard for me to hold this still and crank this. Okay, I guess watch kind of right there. You can see the caliper doing this on there, which my shaky camera watch it's hard to see, but I promise it's doing it, which would indicate a bent disc as well, would cause that. And the other side does not seem to do that at all. Currently gravity bleeding these brakes at the moment, so we've got that cracked open at the top, and it'll be hard to see, getting some fine little bubbles out, pump some fluid as well. But what I did, the reason I'm rebleeding it, is I changed these little banjo fittings here. So this is the one that I had on there originally. You can kind of see this mating surface. Originally, these calipers came with kind of an O-ring style sealing washer. I was getting some seepage around this. I switched it out to some copper ones. I was still getting a little bit of brake fluid around the edge there. I'm thinking possibly it was sucking some air back in. Not really leaking a lot, but possibly sucking air in. So I switched it to a different style that's got a wider little mating flange on there. And we're bleeding it. So see if maybe this is part of our problem as well. So I put a C-clamp on each side, took these calipers off, basically clamped the pads down to simulate like it was all the way up against the rotor and nice and tight and stuff, so these weren't having to travel out very far. I'm still getting the same issue. Still just a spongy pedal. So there, comes all the way down. I pump it. Significantly harder. Another thing I'm noticing is getting just constant small fine bubbles. So you get, there we go. And these just never stop. And this is the reason I rebuilt this master cylinder. It still seems the same. The other one was pretty similar too. Like, I've pumped so much fluid through. So I think my options are, I'm going to steal master cylinder off my other 670, which the brakes are absolutely perfect on. And they have these exact same calipers. The only difference would be is there's no, it's the original lines to it, which should not make any difference whatsoever. My other concern is these calipers are basically just kind of a Chinese knockoff caliper, which I've got some original Nissan ones off my 250R. I don't really want to steal those off yet to try, but I think I'm going to pull the other master cylinder off and try it on this and see if it works. Oh, I feel sorry for this thing. I keep stealing stuff off it left and right. So here, look. And that's like as hard as I can pull it very much. So, wow. Confirmed. Good master cylinder. Builds great pressure. This one has always just locked up the front brakes with ease. So let's swap it. See if that makes a difference. All right, so I've got the other master cylinder on there. So we're doing a combination of gravity bleeding. We're basically cracking the bleeders open and just letting it drain through the system. I've done a bunch of pumping through the fluid. I've used a vacuum one in the past. I haven't done it yet on this. It feels marginally better, but I'm not quite convinced. We're gonna keep pumping some fluid through there and see what it is. I'm also gonna put the other master cylinder back in my 671 just to rule that out. Well, this is the best it's felt so far, and I'm not getting any fine little bubbles showing up inside here like it was before. Before, I'd pump this a bunch and it would just get cloudy in there with bubbles. It's been crystal clear the entire time. Still not super convinced on that brake disc over there. I think I need to replace that still, but I'm actually building pressure right there, where before, I mean, it was real easy. Like, still sucks though. It's like 2 pumps and it's like awesome, but I think I need to try it out a little bit though and see just what it feels like actually driving. Well, this is just interesting. I just threw the other master cylinder back onto the 671 and it's freaking perfect. It feels exactly the way it was before. The fluid's still cloudy from before, but getting some little bubbles to come out, but feels freaking perfect though. I'm still kind of convinced these calipers I've got on the other one are not great. Oh, I guess this is what it's come to. So these are the same exact style calipers off my 250R, but these are a genuine Nissan caliper. We're gonna pull these off and swap them over there. I'm just kind of convinced that the pistons on that other calipers are squeezing out and then they're just returning too easy on their own. Oh, it seems like such a crime pulling these off of there, but I gotta swap them to see if that's our issue. Oh, the gift that just keeps on giving. So, that's the bracket off the TRX ones, or the 250R ones. This is the one I had on there. They are basically, I don't know, a couple millimeters difference. I thought, oh, I'll just yank those off and just swap them between the calipers. But no, this one's different too. So 2 posts on there, 1 post on there, and another post is inside there. So these are not going to work at all. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might have to order another set of actual TRX 450R calipers. Gave up on the 250R calipers, put the original ones back on there. But something else I'm stealing off the 250R for the time being is the tires and wheels. Because when I ordered these tires for it, like an idiot, I ordered them for the Pilot, bolt pattern up front, which I kind of forgot that we were going to use like 450R hubs, which is 4 and 144 instead of what are they, 4 and 110 or something up front. So I put some adapters on there, but what I don't like about those is scoots the wheel out, increases our scrub radius, and it's resulting in some heavy steering force. So we're going to see if this is a little bit better with the correct offset on. All right, I'm sick of these brakes. Got the other tires on there. We're going to take it for a spin here. See how it works. All right, let's go for a little spin here. So yeah, brakes are still exactly the same. Where if I grab them once, there's nothing. If I bump them, they'll stop. Like that. I'm kind of convinced it's the caliper. It's drizzling a little bit. Let's see if it'll wheelie. That's a yes. We'll do another little launch. quick. Just spinning. All right, let's go back. Man, this thing was a lot of fun to rip around. So, got some calipers coming for the brakes. Hopefully we'll finish out this video, we'll see. But I think it's time to get some plastics polished up on this thing. Oh, so let's tackle that. Okay, let's take this side cover, get this thing all polished up. Excuse my mess, I've done a few of them. This is gonna be the last one I've done. So, I've kind of nailed down this process a little bit. But yeah, we're gonna sand and wet sand and then buff. And we're gonna start with 400 grit on the sander. Get all this stuff. The biggest part is gonna be here. You get a lot of rock chips and stuff on this plastic panel. So try to get this smoothed out, and then step up to 600, and then 1,000, and see what it looks like from there. And then I've gotten some finer stuff up to like 1,500, but it seems like with the 1,000, if you get that nice and smooth and you don't have any previous scratches in there from the other ones, the little buffing pad does great. So what I've been using after that is this stuff here is kind of a heavy cut compound. It says it's supposed to do remove up to 600, 800 grit sanding marks. And then I found that once that's kind of out of the pad and you get down just to the clean wool again, it seems to really kind of give a nice fine polish. So that's what we're gonna do. So I've gone over all the outer edges with the sander there. These inner parts, I'm doing this by hand. It's just hard to get to, and I've kind of found with the other one where the power sander leaves some harder marks, and it's really hard to get these polished out down inside here. So we're gonna hand sand that so we got nice straight line marks. So this is 400 also. We're gonna do this whole thing. We'll clean it up, switch to 600. All right, I just hit it with 600 on the power sander and then went over and kind of wet sanded and block sanded. So we'll power wash this thing off quick, dry it, and kind of see what our scratches look like. Hopefully we've just got nice vertical, horizontal lines and no more squiggly lines from the power sander there. Yeah, it's still drying off here, but looks like pretty much just nice horizontal lines. So we're gonna bump up to some 1,000 next and then just wet sand and block sand it. And then we'll see what that looks like and then probably hit it with the polisher. All right, this is after 1,000 grit wet sanding. Well, an hour and a half later, this is what we've got. Is it 100,000% perfect? Absolutely not. Because this is going to be a rider. I just want it to look nice. This is not a museum piece, but it looks infinitely better than it was. You can shine. All right, let's get some plastics on this thing. We're tackling the brakes again on this thing. So, I've got some new calipers, actual OEM Nissan calipers, and new brake discs too. Take that off, put these different calipers on there, and hopefully the brake issues will be fixed. Got the outer hub off, so I'll take this disc off. Just 3 Allen head bolts there. We'll zip those out quick and put the new disc on there. Old one's off, new one's on. Let's throw it back on. New calipers are on both sides. Now it's time to do my favorite thing, bleed some brakes. I hope this is the last of the issues on the front brakes. Oh, I cannot describe this feeling. Look at that. First pump, I can't even get to the handlebar. We've got perfect positive brakes. If I spin this, yeah, I'm doing this one-handed. Feels good. Look at that. Amazing. It was in the freaking calipers. Oh, which that kind of sucks because I got to do a disc brake conversion on this one too because Dax is also buying this and I've got the same calipers for it. Those like Chinese aftermarket ones, which I've used on a million applications before and they generally work just fine, but I swear they were just, you'd squeeze them and then pistons would suck back in there and then you'd use half your stroke just getting the pads back out to the disc. Yeah, I bled this, and literally my first squeeze, it was just perfect. I've spent so much freaking time on these dumb brakes. I've got it fixed. I'm so happy. All right, we've got our new wheels in. Old tires are back on those. Off with the 250R tires and those street tires. But hey, the brakes, they work really good. This is excellent. So we'll throw these back on there. Should work just as good. Smaller tire stop's a little bit easier. These are a little bit taller tire. Let's get them on there. Okay, let's go try out the brakes. So before I really had to pump these things to get them to lock. Oh, with ease, I love it. These brakes have been such a pain. They work amazing now though, just what I'd expect. Well, I think it's time to put some plastics on this thing. Got all these plastics nice and shined up. Got new decals for everything. Let's throw them on there. Oh boy, it's crazy to see this thing back together with plastics on it. It's been quite the journey. Well, now it's time to put some decals on it. So I've got the pilot decals that go on the front and side. There's gonna be one on the top one up there, as well as a bunch of little warning symbols and things that are gonna go on the frame. So let's get some of those things on and get this thing outside in the light. All right, got a couple of them on there. Front one, the roof, some side decals. Boy, I don't really like doing decals because I feel like I just look at them and look at them and look at them. I'm like, is it crooked? Is it straight? But they look pretty good. So we've got placements there, a couple little Honda liquid cooled ones that are going down there, and then we've got a couple other ones that are going to go on the frame. Just kind of some warning decals and model decals and stuff like that. So these are the warning decals and stuff that I got, which I didn't realize this, but that one's kind of funny, which is not an original one. This Honda just might put you in the hospital, which I was just kind of thinking, I think that might be like a good spot, just kind of, you know, right at your feet there so you're looking at it, just as a little reminder. Man, does it feel good to have this thing pretty much done. It's not completely done yet. Got to put in like the little side or the panel plastics down there. Need to add a seat belt. I'm going to exhaust wrap the, or heat wrap the exhaust there. Oh, what else we got left in there? A few little things. Need to take it out and see how fast it actually goes. Do a top speed run, check some jetting, some stuff like that. So absolutely stay tuned. So we're gonna see how fast this thing really goes top speed wise, which transmission is kind of limited there. So I know it's not going to be ridiculous top speeds, but hoping it'll hit 75 for sure. If it cracks 80, I think that'd be very impressive for this system. But it's going to get there quick. So definitely stay tuned. Follow along. We got more videos to come. Plus, at some point, we're going to have to deliver this to Dax. So we'll have that video as well.